Hello again, another pen review. This time it's for a Franklin-Christoph pen. It comes in this sleeve, sort of like a some sort of ruffled pattern box. And you open it up, you receive, I got the Mike Masuyama broad stub nib with it. So this is the card to verify that he's done it, with his wood chop there. You also get a Franklin-Christoph customer service card with their signature. Then the business card from Franklin-Christoph. You get 2 small cartridges, and then you get the pen itself. So this is the pen. This is the Model 27 Colegia, or Colegia, however you pronounce it. I bought this as my first Franklin-Christoph pen and Masuyama nib, mainly because I believe it's their cheapest fountain pen they have. It's quite a nice fountain pen. The reason I got it was because this red is quite nice. But you got the red with your little silver clip band on the end. In the middle you've got another silver part that says it's got engraved in it Franklin-Christoph going around there. Your clip has a diamond pattern etched into it, and the clip is fairly tight. It feels like it might be spring assisted. Then you got a black band and another silver cap, and then on the very end you got the Franklin-Christoph symbols. Alright, so that's the pen. This is what it looks like. You got the Franklin-Christoph size number 5 nib. Now all these nibs, as far as I know, are interchangeable. You can just unscrew them. The whole unit comes out, the feed, the nib and the collar. And you can just change it out for another one that you can order off their website as a spare. Comes with a converter for cartridge converter, standard international type. Screws back on. Now, the biggest thing I found wrong with this pen, and the only thing I found wrong with the design of it, is the screw. Now, the first thing, you start to unscrew it and it's a very loose, as you can probably see, it's very loose on the threads. A lot of other pens, yeah, you'll start to unscrew them and they're still reasonably tight. This one is quite a thick pen, and quite thick threads, and it moves quite a bit, which feels a little bit cheap and nasty. And occasionally when you put it in, you can start to cross thread it, but you just stop, reverse it out and thread it back in and it becomes good. The other problem that I have is, if you don't screw this end on properly, and you screw that side in a bit too tight on the cap, you can accidentally, just like that, unscrew the wrong part. It's not a major issue, but it is a real pain. There we go, it just happened again. So I've got to unscrew like that. Put this back on, make sure it's on nice and tight. And there you go. Now it is a metal pen, so it's quite heavy. Your grip section is plastic. You have your threads here. They're a little bit rough and sharp, but not too bad. I haven't had too many troubles with them myself. I've got the broad cursive italic stub by Mike Masuyama, and yeah, so the measurements are capped 139mm, uncapped 120, posted. It's quite a large pen, and it's quite a large pen posted, and I don't know, even though I hold it right up towards the top of the threads, it's just way too top heavy to use as a pen. It's just too unbalanced, and that'll mainly be because of the weight of the lid, which I'll come to. The grip section is 8mm, so it's quite a thin section. It's better for people with small hands that like heavier pens, whereas personally I prefer a larger pen and generally a little bit lighter. The barrel is 11mm. With the cap, it's a massive 41.8 grams, and then without the cap, it's 22 grams, so it's still fairly heavy without the cap, but not too bad. The steel nearby I quite enjoy. I love my stubs in cursive italics. So it's quite a nice pen. It's just a little bit too small for me, but I'll still keep a hold of it because I love the look of it. It's a gorgeous looking pen. Alright, let's get to a writing sample. Okay, so here we go. Writing sample for the Franklin-Cristorph number 27. Colegia with the Mike Masuyama broad stub. This ink is Iroshizuku Yamaguri. Alright. This nib and feed keeps up quite well. That little bit of a skip there was probably me. And just there, obviously, you turn your nib to the wrong side, it doesn't write. You've got to be quite spot on with a stub. This stub is more of a cursive italic. It's a little bit sharper than the other stubs that I'm used to. But as you can see, this is the line variation, which is natural to this pen. You can squeeze a little bit of line variation out, but it's not really designed for that. So there you go. And while flexing it, or putting a bit of pressure on, lays down a fair bit more ink. Mainly ink to make it look darker, but it's a little bit wider as well. Obviously it's a fairly broad nib, and it's quite wet, which is what I like. That part there is still wet as well. So is that a little bit? So there you go. The Mike Masuyama nib on a Franklin-Christoph Model 27. Goodbye.